morning. My name is Sarah. Welcome to the It Is a Sarah podcast. It is Thursday, June 13, and it's quite early in the morning. I'm looking a bit sleepy. It's a little bit after 6. I'm walking with our dog. Normally my husband does the first doggy walk in the early morning, but he's a few days away for his job, so it's my turn, and I walk in the park at the end of our street. It's a very nice place. I have to be aware that there are not other early birds walking their dogs. It's a bit awkward filming this way. I'm still not used to it. There was someone. I got out of bed a little bit earlier than normal because I really am attached to my morning routine and I don't want to rush through my morning routine. So I invested a little bit of sleep so I can have a quiet morning routine with all the time for coffee and crochet and all that important things. We'll see you later today. It is quite bright and sunny at my crochet spot, but I wanted to show you my progress on my sunny square tote. So actually it's the perfect light. I'm back on track. I didn't manage it yesterday to complete all the squares, but I spent some of my morning crochet time on the weaving in the yarn ends. I didn't really plan that, but I was feeling that I wanted to do that, and I also added my square of today. That's this one. The pattern is okay. Again, I made a mistake. I told about it yesterday, and now we are back on track, and I can crochet one granny square a day. I really love the color combination. You can see it pretty good in a bright sunlight. The black and the brown and the pink, which I still don't know the shade. Peachy pink, salmi pink, I don't know. And a little bit of warm red. I really love the color combination. Nice work. And it will go back into my project bag because I have to do some other things right now. It's always hard to stop crocheting granny squares. So the boundary of 1 square a day is really working well for me. I'm an addict. here we are in our caravan, although it's officially not our caravan anymore. It's from the new owners already. I asked permission to sit in the caravan and film a little bit for my episode. Because it's still in our street and we have the keys, the new owners. I will tell more about the new owners within a few minutes, but they will pick it up tomorrow. But I really wanted to film for the last time in the caravan because I did not a lot. I did a few times episode filming in my caravan, and it was very nice and very fun to do. It's a little bit awkward right now because I'm sitting in our street. I had a lovely view at the backside, but then my neighbor came home and he parked his car there. So the lovely view, you can see it a little bit in the Dutch episode. But yeah, now you just have to watch the car. I'm sorry. We have a narrow street and I can't change the view. But I really wanted to tell you all about my newest finished object in the caravan because they are quite connected. It's very special that I, on one of the last days, the caravan is close to us. I can show my finished object, which I casted on in my say goodbye trip with the caravan 2 weeks ago. So I will share all about my newest tea, and then I will share more about the selling of the caravan. Yeah, I am wearing the Sommerknus. It's a pattern from Elsebeth, Judith, and she's Danish, I guess. The pattern is in English. It's available in different languages, but I used the Danish pattern. No, I didn't use the Danish pattern. I don't know. I don't speak Danish. I used the English pattern. If you watched all my previous episodes, you might hear things for the second or third time. I'm sorry for that, but I just want to have all the details around the Sommerknus in one episode, so I will repeat some things, I guess. 2 weeks ago, I went on a goodbye trip with our caravan. We already knew we wanted to sell it, and I really felt the need to some extra time to be very conscious about the last time I spent in the caravan. So I went for 2 days alone, and later in the weekend my husband and our youngest girl joined us, and that was very nice and very fun. But in that time I was struggling with my swatching for the test knit for Lerke, for Fibertails. Lerke designed a beautiful pattern for a linen tee, a cotton linen tee with a V-shaped neckline and a crocheted scalloped edge. Very lovely, and I really wanted to make that tee, and I applied for the test knit, but I didn't get gauge. I bought the same yarn as Lerke had. It is Fonty Boheme. I was curious. I saw she used that yarn, so I looked for it on the internet to see what it was, what the mix was, and the length and all the details. It is Fonty Boheme. It's a mix from cotton, 65%, and 35% linen. When I was searching for it, I discovered a web shop in the Netherlands, and they had quite a discount on the yarn, 40%. So I thought I will try the yarn. I bought it in brown. It is a bit of an orangey brown, colorway 366, and I also bought a black one. Okay, there are some people walking with the dog and they are standing still. It's a good practice for me to film when people are passing by. Passing by, is that... Passing away is not what I mean, but passing by is okay, I guess. They are walking through our street, and I always feel awkward because, yeah, I don't know. And I want to practice that I can do the things I do anytime, any way, any moment, and I don't care other people watching or thinking, what is she doing? Yeah, I want to practice that part, and filming is really a good way to practice it. I don't like vlogging. I don't like filming when other people are around. I always feel very awkward, but now I'm trying. I'm trying. It's a practice day. So I bought six brown balls and 6 black balls, and I really love the yarn. I did knit my Senna cardigan with Sommerknus line. I don't have a lot of experience with summer yarns. I'm more from the woolly yarn, so they are quite new to me. And the Sommerknus line is also a mix of cotton and linen, but there's also a little bit of viscose in it. And that makes the yarn, it gives it a little bit shine. It's a little bit of a shiny yarn. And this is a mat yarn. Is mat, in Dutch we say mat. Is that the English word too? I don't know. There's no shine. No shiny yarn. You have sometimes that mercerized cotton and also the no mercerized cotton, and I prefer the last one with the no shiny look. So also this one I was knitting, although I couldn't get gauge and my stitch definition was not really the way I wanted to be. I could feel that the feeling of the yarn was really what I wanted, and it really made me happy. Now, when I started my trip, I casted on the tee anyway, although I didn't get gauge and I didn't have the right stitch definition, and I did some modifications and I tried to knit it, and then I had a twist in my project, in my knitting, and that was quite frustrating. And at that day, at that moment, I was very tired. I was very struggling. I was a lot struggling with hay fever. So I was not feeling the best. And I really needed, I thought I am at my say goodbye trip to my of my caravan. And I have some alone time. I really need a satisfying knitting work. Such a knitting work which really recharge your battery, which is really flowing, the rhythm of the stitches, the feeling of the yarn. I really needed that. And I had this yarn with me. I also had some socks and some other works, but I needed a new cast on. We all know that feeling. So I searched in my Ravelry library, and I have the pattern of the love letter top from Veronica Lindberg. It was gifted to me by one of the viewers. Very nice. Thank you. But I was a little bit afraid that it would be it would ask too much of my concentration. I knitted the Arctic Light sweater from Veronica a few months ago for my girl, and it was one of the most fun knitting projects I did, because it was just so much fun to knit. But it also involved, it was not really hard, but it was a lot of new things to me, and it asked for quite some focus and concentration and counting, and my brain during my caravan trip was not able to do that. I didn't have the brain space for it. I wanted an easy work, but also a knitting project that wouldn't be boring. So I didn't want to knit all in the round stockinette. I didn't want to be bored, but yeah. And I immediately thought of the Sommerknus. The Sommerknus is the pattern by Elsebeth Judith. I already told that. Every time I forgot, I didn't remember the designer's name, but now I do. Because she earns all the credits. It's really a lovely pattern. I really recommend it. I think I saw it on Ravelry 2 years ago, summer 2022, for the first time, and I immediately loved it. You know, sometimes there are eye catchers on Ravelry. You think, oh, that's nice, and I really thought that, but I didn't buy the pattern because of the round yoke and the high neckline. I love to knit a round yoke, but I don't love to wear it. It's not I don't know if it's not looking good on me, it's not feeling good on me. I need some more space right here. So I didn't. It was not on my wish list to knit. And last summer I saw the top on one of my knitting friends, and it was looking very good on her, and I immediately felt again, I want that too. But again, I thought, no, that's not your taste, that's not your fit. Let it go, knit something different. So I didn't do it. But now again I felt I want a Sommerknus, and again I had the thoughts, that's not right, that's not good for you. And then I realized, just I just want to knit the thing. I don't care if I can't wear it or whatever. I just need that knitting project in my life right now. It was a very strong feeling. As I said, I love knitting round yokes and easy peasy, and it's a structured pattern, but the structured stitches are not hard to do. So it's not boring, but it's also not difficult. It's challenging because you have sections, and the challenge is you knit to another section. I thought, okay, if I knit this tee and it will not be my fit, my taste, whatever, will I be okay with it? Is it okay for me to just enjoy the process? And I felt, yes, that's okay. So I thought, okay, then knit the thing, and you can see in the end what you will do with the tee. Maybe it is good, maybe it is too big or too small and you will give it away. Maybe you will even frog it, but you just, for now, you just have to enjoy the knitting. So I didn't swatch either because I was really done with swatching. I had so much swatching frustration. I didn't want to swatch. I also used quite a smaller needle size than the pattern suggested. I think the pattern suggests a 4 or 5 millimeter or both. I knit my tee on 2.5 millimeter needles because I love the fabric. I knit with 2.5 millimeter needles with the Fonty Boheme. I did pick the smallest size. I checked the measurements. I didn't check my gauge, so that was quite exciting, going down so many needle sizes and then also picking the smallest size. But I did it all. I thought I'm just here for the knitting. The cast on, I did a little modification. The pattern originally start at the first purl ridge. You have purl ridges after every section, and you start the neckline with a purl ridge. And at the end of the pattern, there's a suggestion that you can pick up stitches and do a decrease round and then knit a little ribbing if you want a ribbing in your tee. I like ribbing in my neckline very much. I don't mind picking up stitches, but I don't like it either. If I can avoid it, I will. So I thought, let me cast on for the neckline immediately, for the rib neckline immediately. So I casted on the amount of stitches the pattern suggested for my size. I knit a very small border because I don't like the high neckline, so I didn't want to take too much space with the ribbing. Only 5 rounds, and then I did an increase round. And I always use the knitting calculator for it. When I search for knitting calculator on the internet, you have several ones. I always pick the one who's on top. I think that's World of Knits. I'm not quite sure. And the knitting calculator is a very generous tool to calculate how you can divide your increases or decreases or whatever. For necklines, but also for sleeves, whatever. You have to tell how many stitches you have on your needles and how many stitches you want to decrease or increase, but increase in this case. And then the knitting calculator calculates how you can divide them evenly. And you can do it by head, but that's not a thing I like to do. It's also not a thing I'm good at. It's just, and it's quite time consuming, so why should I? And this is the perfect way to do it quick. So I did the increase round too, and then I had the number the amount of stitches on my needles, which I needed according to the pattern, and then I just followed the pattern. Now I did another modification. You start after the purl ridge. You can't see it right now, but you start with short rows. Short rows are very nice to create a better fitting. You lift the neckline actually because you knit the whole tee in the round except for the short rows. By knitting back and forth for a few rows, so not rounds but rows, you create a little bit extra fabric in the neck, which make the neck higher, and that's a natural better fit. For my size, I think the pattern suggests 3 short rows. and there was an extra short row for the biggest sizes. A lovely Dutch knitter, she texted me on Instagram and she said, maybe you can add extra short... Oh, did you hear that? Maybe you can add extra short rows to create a lower neckline. And my first reaction was, yeah, I tried that before on other garments and it never gave me the result I wanted to. So I didn't really thought it would work out. But when I was knitting, I thought, okay, let me add the 4th short row. Although it was not meant to be for my size, I did knit 4 short rows. That was the only other modification I did. So then I just knitted. I wrote. I couldn't print the pattern, of course, because I was in my caravan. So I wrote all the sections, how to make them in my knitting book, because I didn't want to have to watch. I didn't want to have to watch on my screen every time. It's nice to be offline sometimes too. It's quite hard anyway in this time we live. So I just wrote it down. And those structured stitches from the sections are very easy to follow, so that makes it also a beginner friendly pattern. And also if you're an advanced knitter and you knitted 100 T's or whatever already, it's still a nice pattern because it's just the rhythmic of the knitting. It's just very nice. It's not boring because you have to pay a little bit of attention. Yeah, and also the smart parts, the smart sections. You are knitting to the next purl ridge, and yeah, I know that makes it the flying of my needles. That's also not correct, I guess. But yeah, I didn't measure. When I was at the point that you split for the armholes, you put the stitches for the armholes on hold. It needed a certain amount of centimeters, and I didn't measure. I felt a bit recalcitrant. Is that? I don't know if that's an English word. I felt a bit, I don't want to do it, like a little toddler. I did measure so much with my swatching struggle. I didn't want to do it. I just want to knit, so I won't measure. The only person who would have a problem with it was myself. So it was not. It didn't really make sense. But I really followed my toddler spirit at that moment, and I didn't measure. And when I was a little bit further than the armholes, I wanted to do a quick fit because I was curious and it was looking good. I was knitting on fixed needles, so I couldn't. You have all the tools, all the nice things you can put on your needles to transfer stitches. But they were very generously given to me by several people. But it's a little bit the same as the magic knot for me. A lot of people are very enthusiastic about it and they love it, but for me it doesn't work. It doesn't stay at the place I want it to be, and it all get loose and all my stitches are getting dropped. So I let that tool go. It's not working for me. And normally when I knit on my interchangeables, I just add an extra cable, but that I don't have my 2.5 millimeters in interchangeable needle points. So I transferred the half amount of my stitches to another needle, and I had a circular needle at the front and a circular needle at the back, and that way I could fit it without dropping the stitches. So I put it on and I thought, oh, this feels good. And then I went to the toilet building on the camping site with my yarn in my hand and my needles attached. And there was a big mirror. We have a little mirror in the caravan, but there was a big mirror. And I checked the fitting of the tee in the mirror there, and I thought, this is perfect. The neckline was perfect. It was high, but it was feeling very nice. And also, the amount of ease, there's a little bit of positive ease. It was also very much the way I wanted, and I thought, how can this be so perfect? I was really surprised, but it also motivated to knit further. I really wanted this tee, although I was totally okay with enjoying the process and the main focus on the process knit. I suddenly realized that I really want a product of this knitting too. So I knitted on, and when I repeated all the sections for the second time, I doubted about the length. It was looking a little bit on the short side, but it was hard to add extra sections because I thought they wouldn't match with my ribbing at the bottom, and I decided to bind off. No, to add a little bit of ribbing and then bind off. And yeah, in the worst case, when it's really too short, I can always undo the ribbing and do add extra sections. I have quite some yarn left, so that's not a problem. The first time I did my bind off and I did the fit, the ribbing was flaring out really much, so I redid the bind off, and before the bind off I did quite a big decrease round of I decreased 30 stitches. That was quite a lot. I again used a knitting calculator to divide them even, but instead of that shape, your ribbing going outside, flaring outside, I wanted to be a little bit tighter on the inside. And 30 stitches, I just felt how many, and I just counted. I did that in an episode, I guess. It worked out pretty good. I'm very happy with how it is now. I did a crochet bind off, and that makes the bind off, there is a limit on the stretch. I don't know if you can see it, but I can't stand up here. There is a limit on the stretch, but it's you only feel it when you are putting the tee on and off. But it's really perfect the way it is. I really planned this tee on a skirt, a high-waisted skirt, but when I I was choosing my outfit for this morning, I really felt that I wanted to wear this dress today. It's my Hinterland dress made by my knitting friend Jessica. And I thought, but Sarah, it's the Sommerknus day. You are supposed to wear a skirt. You are curious how it will be on a skirt. But I really felt, I want that dress. Again, that toddler spirit. I want that dress. No, that dress. So I followed my inner toddler again. And I wear it on a dress. And it's perfect. I still have my doubts about the length on the skirt. But we will see. It is good on my dress anyway. And I have several dresses. So that will be perfect. I was surprised by the effect of blocking. I don't have a lot of experience with blocking cotton, and I always thought that it would be more the blocking process has more effect on woolly garments than on cotton garments, but it really improved my tee. It is really the stitch definition. I always say I'm a loose knitter, I'm a messy knitter, but my stitches seems to be straightened up quite a lot, so they are looking very neat and nice. So that really made me happy. Blocking does make a difference with cotton too, so that's really a calming thought when I will knit a cotton garment again and I will not be happy with my stitch definition. I know the blocking process can improve it, so that's nice to know. I used I know, oh, there's a car again. I know I did buy 6 balls of Fonty, and I have 2 and a little bit left, so I used almost 4 yarn balls, so that's 200 gram, a little bit less. Yeah, I think I told all. This morning I made an Instagram video. Maybe I can edit it in here. And it was my first fit. When I did block the garment, when I block it in my blocking top, and then I always do it in the spin cycle of my washing machine. And when I put it out the spin cycle, I thought, oh, this looks really tiny. Did it shrink? I was a bit worried, so I immediately put it on when it was still wet, and it was good that I did that, because it wasn't shrinked at all. It was still, the fit was good and it was not too tight, but it looked so tiny. I'm not a big person, but it looked like a baby sweater. I'm not a baby too. I'm a toddler, of course. When I was making my Instagram video this morning, that was the first time I did the fit again. I didn't fit in between. I just let my garment dry and then I hang it on my nail in my knitting office. And this morning I put it on and it was really a heart jumping moment because it was so perfect and lovely and exactly the way I wanted to be. So that really made me happy. And it's still making me happy. I'm really dreaming of another one. I have the black yarn, and maybe I will do the same, but it also seems fun to me to choose my own structured stitches to just for a little bit of difference. But I have different plans for the Fonty Boheme. I don't know. I also have a bit of the grayish brown Katia cotton. That would also be very nice in this pattern. So I'm quite sure there will be more Sommerknus knitting on my needles in the near future. But I really love to wear it a little bit more so I can discover what is nice on the tee and if there are maybe things that I can adjust when I knit it for a second time. So the temperatures will rise, I guess, a little bit here. So that's the perfect weather for wearing this tee. So I will do that a lot coming days. And then I will think about casting on another one. Okay, yeah, that was all about, no, not all. What was really also heart jumping to me, this tee was perfect in all its ways, and that was quite special. It was the pattern was perfect, the yarn was perfect, my stitch definition was perfect. I think my gauge is perfect. I didn't measure it at all. The fit is perfect. The feeling is perfect. The process was perfect. It was very interesting to really knit from heart, to really how can I say, I really felt I need that knitting on my needles, and to be okay with just enjoy the knitting without worrying about the end result. Maybe that was not what I wanted, but just follow your heart because you feel you need it so much. That really felt good, and it's catched into this tee, and also that I knitted it I started it on my goodbye trip in the caravan, because saying goodbye to the caravan is also following our heart, and following your heart can be really exciting when you don't know the outcome. So that was really also happening with this tee. I didn't know the outcome, but I was okay with the process, and copying that to our caravan to camper adventure is really it was a good practice. Yeah, follow your heart, be okay with the process, and enjoy the process and be okay with the outcome, whatever that may be. Yeah, so that was really nice, and I always love it when a thing is catched into a certain project, in a certain garment. There are memories in all my garments, from moments, from people, from whatever. So that's also happening with this tee, and I really love it that I have a special goodbye caravan tee right now too. Yeah, so goodbye caravan. Yeah, oh, that's also a lovely story. Oh, that was my neighbor again. Now you can see the green. That's better than the gray car. As I said, we wanted to sell the caravan, but it is following our heart, but it's also breaking my heart in a certain way, because we are the owners of this caravan for 12 years. And it was not only saying goodbye to the caravan, but also saying goodbye to the part of our life as a family with smaller children. And we are now, our children are 14, 17 and 19. We are ready for the next phase, a family with bigger children. And the children more and more go their own ways, as they are supposed to be. As a mom, that's always a bit, small steps are okay in that process. Oh, there's the mailman. I am practicing. Doing your thing. Doesn't matter who is watching or who is around you. I have to tell myself. He's going to our house, I guess. My son is at home. So letting the caravan go. Yeah, it feels good, but also I really wanted lovely people as the new owners for our caravan, and that is not, of course it's quite a challenge, because quite often you don't know the people who buy your caravan. So that was happening too right now. But I shared it on Instagram on purpose, because I hoped that there would be a knitter, a crocheter, or both that would be interested, because I did knit and crochet so many hours in this caravan. Yoo-hoo! Sarah's doing a nice thing. She loves it. There he goes. Maybe he didn't even see me. Maybe it's only my own voice in my head judging me. Of course that is the case. So I shared it on my Instagram because I really hoped someone with the same love for knitting and crochet would be interested. And that was the case. We received a message on Instagram, I received a message on Instagram from a knitter I know. And she was interested in the caravan, and yeah, they came for a watch, and we had a nice coffee and tea moment in the caravan Sunday night, and it was love at the first sight. They loved the caravan too, and they said, yeah, we want it, we really want it. And that was a heart jumping moment for me, because yeah, I hope that someone familiar, I don't know them very well. Let me explain. It is a Dutch knitter, it's a Dutch dyer. Our caravan will be a BadCattooYarn dyer, that's her name. No, that's not her name, it's her company name. Her name is Françoise, and her husband or partner, I don't know if they are married, his name is Boris, and they are lovely people, and I already did know them from events and just from the knitting community. So it's really nice that they are the new owners of our caravan, because I think it are nice people. They make beautiful things. Françoise dyes the most beautiful. I had one skein in my stash that she gave to me last year during an event, and yeah, so that was nice to show you. She dyes the most beautiful colors. So I thought maybe you can sell yarn from out of the caravan. That would be lovely too. So it's really feeling good that that they are the new owners, and they will enjoy our caravan, and I can let it go in peace. And yeah, this is my last moment here right now. I will tomorrow. They will pick it up tomorrow, because they are not living around and quite near to us. They live in another place, on another place in the Netherlands, and tomorrow they will pick the caravan up, and then it will really. Then we really need to say goodbye. Tomorrow I will grab all my crochet blankets from it, and then I will have a final silent coffee moment, I guess. So this is not really the last moment. Yeah, and it's okay. Then we will start our new adventure. The camper is on its way. It's not here yet, but it's coming. I don't know when, but it's coming. And yeah, it's really nice. It's really yeah, it's a good story with a good end. So yeah, I'm very grateful for all the lovely years we spent in this caravan with our small children, and yeah, we have the pictures and the videos, so we can always check it. And of course, I can enjoy from a little distance when the new owners are camping. I know, yeah, they will send a picture every now and then, and that's also very nice. Okay, that was it for now. I talked for quite a while. I will go inside because I have a lovely thing to share with you. I had some lovely yarny mail last week, and that also has to do with the camper. So that's very interesting. I will tell you inside about it. Hello, I'm back at my knitting office, but still I have an interesting subject what's a bit related to the caravan, or actually to the camper. We are working on our way through the camper. That's our biggest desire at the moment. I have received lovely yarn with a bit of a camper background. Now, not really. Let me explain. A few weeks ago, I received a message from Janneke. Janneke is a Dutch dyer. You can find her on Instagram as Gewoon Jans. And she also has a separate account for her shop, Gewoon Jans shop. I will link it all down below. And Janneke, I know Janneke for quite some years now, and I think last year or maybe the year before she started dyeing yarns. And she's a very talented dyer. She has a very good taste of picking colors and combining colors. I think that's really beautiful if you can do that. And she also has an interesting way to be inspired for her dyeing, for the colors she dyes the yarn in. She also dyed for me and for several other people. She checked the Instagram people she followed and their color combinations, and she made a base of a color combination in a yarn, and she dyed it in that color combination. This is a bit of a complex explanation of something simple. So I received last year, it is a Sarah yarn. It was a beautiful brownish, of course, colorway based on my color taste, and it was really lovely. I have 3 skeins in my stash. They will become a cardigan, a fingering weight cardigan, but I'm not sure which cardigan. I did buy a pattern last week. I'm quite sure that it will be that one, but that's for later. But Janneke messaged me and she asked me, she was busy preparing a summer sock kit, and with 5 mini skeins, and she asked me if I had some inspiration for summer colors, and her 5, she asked for 5 colors, and it immediately reminded me of our process. When we will own a camper van, we are thinking of adding stripes, the striping at the outside, halfway the camper van, to personalize it. And we are a family of 5, so we were thinking of 5 colors. So luckily my husband and I, we have the same color taste. We both love brown, so we were in the brown shades, thinking in the brown shades. So when she asked me, I immediately thought of that, and I said, I want some brown, dark brown, light brown, but also for summer a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, warm sunflower yellow, and a pink. So I shared my vision with her, and she got inspired. And I also sent her some pictures I found on Pinterest, some camper striping inspiration. And one of the picture was a camper with some people at a fireplace, and it was very lovely, and it really gave that summer night feeling. And she used that picture to make a mood board for her summer nights. How's it called? I forget it all the time. It's on the label. Let me see. Summer nights at the campsite. So that was really lovely. And I received the yarn earlier this week, and she added a 6th color because she thought that was good for the balance, and I think she's right. And it is really beautiful. It is really beautiful. Let me show it to you. Ta-da! It's a bit hard to show it right, I guess, but those are the 6 colors, and I really can see me knitting stripy socks this summer for when we are camping at a camping place, sitting at a fire, next to a fire. I don't know if you are a camper, or maybe you live in a place where you can make fire in your garden, but a fire on a summer night, it can be so special and cozy. You're sitting with other people around the fire, or maybe alone, that's also okay, and just looking at the fire, it gives such a calming feeling. It's just, fire is amazing and so interesting. And I see myself sitting next to the fire with my stripy summer socks in my slippers, and I feel very happy. So yeah, that's really lovely. Let me show the colors. This is a dark brown one, and this is more of a caramel brown. And then I don't know in which way I will, I don't know, I don't mind. This is a warm orange color, the color of fire, of course. This is a sunflower yellow color. It's also the color combination of a fire. And then a pink, a warm pink, a lovely shade of pink. And she added a beige with some speckles from all the other colors. And that's really the perfect decision, I guess. So yeah, my sock needles are all busy knitting other socks, so I can't cast it on immediately. So I will enjoy the look of those beautiful mini skeins. I don't know if you recognize that feeling, but mini skeins, they are lovely to hold and to cuddle with and to lay on your desk and look at it. That's a heart jumping thing on its own. And when my needles are free, I will cast on a new pair of socks, stripy socks. I have to check. Those are mini skeins. It is blue face Leicester yarn, 75% wool, blue face Leicester, and 25% nylon. It's a superwash yarn, 20 gram and 85 meter per skein. And I have to check if I can make toes, heels and cuffs with one color. I did make notes one time when I did it. I did weigh how much yarn I needed for that, but I don't know on which pair of socks that was, so I need to dive in my administration, or maybe I will do different things. That can also be an option, but yeah, really lovely. Thank you, Janneke. I have actually no idea if she ships overseas, but you can always ask her. Maybe she does, but if she doesn't, you can always ask her. Janneke is a very sweet lady. So yeah, check her out. I will link her shop down below. Oh, the mini sock set, it will come online tomorrow. So you can't find it there now, right? When the video will be online. But tomorrow it will be released. So you have to be a little bit patient if you watch this video immediately. Yeah. Oh, and there's also a little extra involved, a little set of stitch markers. Also really in the summer vibes. Pink and a little gemstone, all on a little wooden plate. You can put that in the fire. Not the stitch markers, but the wood if you want to. So that's really lovely too. So thank you, Janneke, for this generous gift. And I will enjoy my summer sock knitting, definitely. Okay, this was it for today and also for this week. Although I will make a video tomorrow, but you can only see that if you are a member of my Heart Jumping Friday membership on YouTube. Those are the Friday videos are the videos in which I answer all your questions. You can answer me all your questions during the week when you see something in my videos you want to know more of maybe you have something you are working on yourself and you want to know more of, or something typical Dutch, or you can ask me anything. I will put it on my list and I will answer those questions. I love making those Friday videos, and it's really heart jumping to me to see so many people joining the membership. That's really, yeah, that's really, it's make me happy. So thank you. And if you don't want to be a member, or if you are not able to be a member, that's also okay. I will see you next week on Monday. I wish you a very nice and happy weekend, filled with heart jumping moments. If you can find them, create them, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.